video, our group will present on the ideal gas law experiment for our open-ended laboratory 1. I will explain on the problem statement, objective of the experiment, and variables of the experiment. For problem statement, how does the temperature affect the pressure of gas when its volume and number of moles are constant based on universal ideal gas law? For the experiment objective, this experiment aims to determine the relationship between temperature, pressure, volume, and number of moles of gas based on universal ideal gas law. The manipulated variable is temperature of air in the round bottom flask. The dependent variable is pressure of air in the round bottom flask, and the constant variable is volume of air in the round bottom flask.
Apparatus is set up for our experiment. We use manometer full with liquid to measure the difference in height to calculate the pressure. We use beaker full with water full of ice. Then we will heat it using hot plate to increase the temperature. We use thermometer to measure the temperature of water and digital thermometer to measure the temperature of air. We use without stand. Now I will explain the general startup procedures for this experiment. Fill in the rubber tube with mixture of tap water and food coloring. Clamp each end of the tube to a retort stand respectively to form U-shaped tube. Make sure that the water level is at the middle height and both ends of tube have the same water level. By using ruler and pen, mark the initial water level and lower part of the tube for both tubes. Make sure that the lower part for both tubes is at the same height. Attach one of the end tubes to the round bottom flask through rubber stopper and another end is let exposed to the atmosphere. Fill in a beaker with 800 ml of ice cube followed by tap water until the water level inside the beaker reaches 1200 ml. Place the beaker on the hot plate and put magnetic stirrer inside the beaker. Turn on the main power supply and main switch on the hot plate. Adjust the heat speed to medium speed. Place the round bottom flask into the beaker by using clamp and retort stand to hold the flask. A thermometer was placed inside the round bottom flask to measure the temperature of the air inside the round bottom flask. During conducting the experiment, first of all, turn on the main power supply and main switch on the hot plater. The hot plater is ensured to function properly before proceeding with the experiment. Adjust the heat speed to medium speed. The beaker is placed on the hot plater and heated until the temperature of water reaches 10 degrees Celsius. Then place the round bottom flask that is attached to the rubber tube and supported by clamp and retort stand into the beaker. Wait until the air temperature inside the round bottom flask reaches 10 degrees Celsius and is in equilibrium with the water temperature. Observe the change in water level inside the rubber tube and mark them by using ruler and pen. Record the height from the lower part to the new water level for each tube. The height difference of the water level between two tubes indicate the pressure reading. Take out the round bottom flask from the beaker. Repeat step 2 to 6 for water temperature until 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60 degrees Celsius. For general shutdown procedures, turn off the main switch on the hot platter and the main power supply. Disconnect the tube from round bottom flask and discard the colored water from the tube by washing it thoroughly. Discard the water inside beaker into the sink with open tap water. Store the apparatus back to their places. That's all for the procedures for this experiment.
I will present safety precautions of the experiment. There are two safety precautions in this experiment, which is the first one is make sure to always wear personal protective equipment PPE such as lab coat, shoes, and face mask when conducting the experiment. Second and the last one is make sure the experimental apparatus has been properly arranged before starting the experiment. That's all from me. Thank you.
In conclusion, the ideal gas law, PV and RT determine the relationship between temperature and pressure of a fixed mass of a gas at constant volume of water in a beaker which is 1200 milliliter. The pressure of gas can be measured based on the height difference in water level on both sides of the manometer. When the volume is kept constant, pressure will increase as temperature increases. Thus, the pressure is directly proportional to temperature. The temperature range that been measured in this experiment is from 10 to 60 degrees Celsius. Lastly, from the data obtained, we can plot the graph EBS temperature and the constant linear graph. That's all from my group, Group N. Thank you.